Welcome everyone, this is Mundan Raghavan, and this video we are going to see thresholds in K6 load testing tool. Thresholds are nothing but your service level objectives which you want to achieve through your test cases. Basically, thresholds will be the deciding factor to make sure your test case is passing or failing. If your threshold has been met, that means that the test case will be passing, otherwise it will be giving the status as failed. We will be adding the thresholds under the options, and it will be having the key and value, where key will be your metric and values will be the list of thresholds that you want to achieve over the given metric. This is the example that you can see in the screen. For example, we can take the data sent. Data sent is the metric here. Based on the type of data sent metric, we will be adding the different thresholds inside the list. And all the thresholds will be given as a string here. So either you make some mistakes, or if you change the type of metric that you want to measure, you will be getting the error when you run the script. However, we will see the detailed practical session after this discussion. Then we will come to know how to decide the metrics and the different thresholds. Basically, the syntax is your metric name and the value will be the list of threshold conditions. With that knowledge, we will go to the practical. Just go to the VS Code and try to execute the previous same script. Remove the thresholds as of now, the same example that we have seen, and go to the terminal and try to execute the previous one. The previous one having the simple configuration on the options like a virtual user, duration and iteration, and we are just going through the some URL and we have some sleep seconds, and we commented the check, where check will not have any impact on your test output. It will not decide your test case has been passed or failed. And we will try to understand the output. Output has a lot of metrics and it does not have any status like passed or failed. Now go with the thresholds with the same example that we have seen in the PPT. So we have the same example and some thresholds. We will discuss later how to decide whether it is a rate or count or average. However, you will come to know, for example, if I am taking the HTTP request waiting time, obviously I can use average, minimum, median, max. Whereas HTTP request, it will be the type of counter. That means that every time it gets counted, it will be adding that value to that counter. So that's the reason we will be using the count. So try to understand more on this. So we will just go to the official documentation, and here you can see the type of metrics. If it is a type of counter, you will have the count or rate inside your thresholds. Whereas if it is a cage, then you will be using the value. And where it is a trend, such as like average, minimum and maximum, you will be using the AVG or minimum or maximum. Okay, with that theoretical knowledge, we will try to execute one more time, but this time with thresholds. Now let's see the output will come with the same way or different way. Because it comes as the same way, we have not saved it. So let's save it and try to execute one more time. And here you can see some error. That means that some of the threshold has not been met, so you are getting the negative condition. Here you can clearly see we have mentioned 4 metrics, or let's say 4 areas: data send, HTTP request waiting time, and HTTP request and iteration duration. Over to the same 4 metrics, you can see the tick marks either green or it can be the red, which means that the given threshold has been failed for the given metric. We mentioned data sent, the rate should be less than 100, whereas we have 946. So that's the reason you are getting some error message. Let's make it the correct threshold value and try to execute one more time. Here you can see all the metrics and its thresholds has been met, and you don't have any error message. And one more thing here to be noted, what are the list of thresholds you are giving, that all are in string format. That means that if you make any mistakes as a typo, or if you make any condition difference, then it will be the runtime error, where when you run the script you will get the error. For example, instead of count equal to 6, if I just like mention like a single equal symbol, then try to execute, when you just save it and run it, you will be getting the error. And here you can see parsing the threshold expression count is equal to 0. It is a malform threshold expression. So which means that we need to just fix it by ourselves since it's a string type, and give the correct threshold condition and try to execute one more time. Here we go. So we have a good execution and all the thresholds has been met. So this is all about the basic thresholds, and basically we will add the thresholds under the options, and thresholds will be having the metric and the list of threshold conditions, and whenever the threshold has been met your test case will be passed. If any one of your threshold has been failed, then your entire test case will be failed, and you can find it by seeing the green tick mark or let's say the red cross. So thanks for watching and have a great day.